Hey, Miles here, milesbecker.com. In this video, you're going to learn 3 separate sources you can go to create your own headline swipe file, and this will also work for your bullet points. So your headlines and your bullet points are really the core of your copywriting. The headlines are what's going to capture the attention, and the bullet points are what really deliver those main benefits that your product offers. Now, if you're doing an opt-in page, generally you're going to have like a headline up top and a few bullet points on the side. If you're doing a sales page, you're going to have a big headline that has a big promise. And ultimately, you might end up having dozens or more bullet points throughout that page. So it's great to begin crafting and really growing your swipe file or your list of bullet points and headlines that you can use before you actually need them, right? If you start developing this file as you go along, it's a great practice. And what you're going to learn here, these 3 methods, it's really going to get you to kind of look at your world and look at your surroundings in a way that's going to help you observe what other people are doing in the marketplace, and it'll help you synthesize new ideas that you might want to try, test, roll out, maybe even new product ideas that you'll create for your audience. So what are the tricks, right? What are the 3 ways? Well, number 1 is the magazine rack in your hometown. So I don't know if you use a normal traditional grocery store or if you have a Barnes & Noble locally, but go find your local magazine racks, because the headlines on the magazine covers are some of the highest paid, are the product of some of the highest paid copywriters in the world. What I mean by this is magazines hire very skilled copywriters to come up with those short 3, 4, 5 word headlines they put on the covers of magazines. Now, these are designed to ultimately sell the entire magazine. So these are usually power-packed snippets that you can use, modify for your headlines on your opt-in pages, for your product, your sales pages, or even for bullet points. Now, if you go through one grocery store and they've got a little magazine rack section, remember that they're updating those magazine racks every single month, so swing through there once a month. Or if you've got a Barnes & Nobles in town or kind of a big newsstand somewhere, just make a habit of going once a month, grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and go hang out with the magazine rack and browse through magazines that are related to your niche and magazines that aren't related to your niche, and really get an idea of the different headlines that are working. What I do in this situation is I've got my cell phone with me and I take pictures of the magazine covers themselves. I might zoom way in on the 1 or 2 headlines that I really like, because some of them have a lot going on, just to keep myself focused. But ultimately, take the pictures, and when you get home, go through those pictures and type them out and store them in a Word document and play with them. Feel free to build on them. You want to use them as a starting point. This is not a swipe and deploy. Now, the number 2 location you can go to is magazines.com, and this is easier than going to a local magazine store, because it's essentially going to have more variety of magazines for you on magazines.com. You can kind of browse by the different categories of magazines and the different magazines themselves. I think you can even get into some of the back issues from magazines.com. And if not, you can actually look on Google Images for the magazine name, and you can also go to Pinterest to find some back issues. So if you find a magazine locally or on magazines.com that really has a lot of good headlines, you're like, wow, those copywriters that they hired, they're right in alignment with my messaging, with my values, with my brand, etc. You want more of that, go look for their back issues on Google, on Pinterest, etc., because that's really going to help you kind of grow that to the next level. And again, you might end up needing dozens or more, right? Multiple dozens of bullets. So start digging your well before you're thirsty in that sense. The other place is a site that's specifically designed to give you landing page design ideas. It's land-book.com. land-book.com. And again, this is actually a gallery of landing pages, so you can see a bunch of landing page designs. But what you can notice is you'll catch little headlines on all of those landing page designs. Now, it's kind of a gallery format, so when you go to the website, you're going to scroll down and it just kind of keeps scrolling perpetually. But notice up top, they do have a search bar, so you can search for health, for fitness, for weight loss if you're in that space. So you can use the search feature as well as another way to go through it. I think this is a really crafty way of leveraging a tool that, again, was designed to really show layout designs, but all of those layouts that they're copying and kind of making into images, right? They're taking these websites, these landing pages, turning them into images. They all have headlines on them. Some of them have headlines and bullet points. So it's a great way to get access to lots of different headlines in lots of different ways. Now, that's 3 of them there, and you might think, well, magazine rack, magazines.com. If you think there needs to be a bonus one here, I do have a bonus for you. for you, and it's Victor Schwab's book, How to Write a Good Advertisement. It was written in the 1940s, and he calls it, it's like a short course on copywriting is the subtitle of that book, and it's an excellent book. Now, not all of the headlines in that book are super applicable today, and a lot of those headlines would not make it past Facebook's terms of service or Google's terms of service. So take that with a grain of salt, because ultimately what you're trying to do, and what he does a great job of in the book, is he really explains the psychology behind those headlines. He really explains the why behind why those subject lines work. He looked at 100, I believe it was 100 of the best headlines to date in his era, and that is really the kind of booming modern era of direct response marketing. And then he not only gives you the headline, but he analyzes them all in a way so you can really understand what's working behind the scenes. So if you actually do all of these things at the same time, right? You go visit the magazine stand. I think there's something really actually quite special about taking the time to go actually to the magazine rack and look at them on the rack. I don't know what it is. It just feels like a different experience when you're browsing the magazine rack and you see which ones capture your eye, and you can start to think, why did that magazine capture my eye, or why did the headline on that magazine capture my eye versus the other one. Whereas when you're looking digitally on magazines.com, it's a great resource, but it's just a little bit different. It doesn't have that same kind of experience. What I'm getting at is you want to be looking at the magazines on a regular basis, monthly. Go back, look at these magazines, right? Look at the back issues of the ones that hit, and then also read that book at the same time, the How to Write a Good Advertisement by Victor Schwab. So you'll be taking in new headlines that Victor Schwab never talked about, but you'll be reading about the ones that he did talk about, and the psychology he talks about what works in the headlines he explains, combined with the new headlines you're looking at, will help you synthesize new great headline and bullet point ideas. Your headline is really the 80% that makes your sales message. It's really the 95% that makes your opt-in pages. It's vitally important, and the bullet points are at least 20 to 50% of what's left in the kind of, they do the heavy lifting of selling your content for you, selling your products for you, selling your opt-in for you. So take time to study copywriting, study headlines, use the magazine trick, go to land-book.com, read Victor Schwab's How to Write a Good Advertisement, and start your own document. Start a Word document. You can call it your headline file, your swipe file, your headline, your bullets, whatever it is, and then just type out the different bullets or the different headlines, one per line. When you're ready to run a new split test, go back to your document that you've already created. When you're ready to launch a new product, go back to your document that you've already created. You're going to find this to be a very, very helpful task. You're going to be programming your subconscious mind with lots of different ideas, so your brain and your mind will be able to synthesize new headlines, new ideas, new offers, new giveaways, new products for your audience. You will find this is a very, very, very valuable series of little things to do. It doesn't take much time. It's easy to do. It's incredibly easy not to do. And those who do the work, those who put in the time and do the work, are those who ultimately see the results. I want you to get the results. So check out your local magazine rack, check out land-book.com, get Victor Schwab's book, How to Write a Good Advertisement. And on that note, I'm gonna catch you on the next video. So give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Any comments, get at me in the comments. Any questions, hit me in the comments. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to connecting with you on the next video. Until then, my friend, be well.